So, so I guess I appreciate that that introduction. I'm glad to hear that all those battles in the where just let's go knock the bureaucracy down is actually making it way down to you guys, and we'll just keep knocking that bureaucracy away, and we'll go from slow to maybe medium speed or something. We'll just keep trying and keep pushing on, and that's all we can do, right? So thank you for the introduction and for being my military assistant for about a year before you escaped and came down to Quantico. So good job to you there. I want to recognize General Heckel and Mazio. Thanks for joining us tonight. Bill Taylor, thank you for coming. And I want to also recognize the retired general officers and flag officers in the room. So definitely it's good to hear a couple of admirals in the room. So good amphibious Navy Marine Corps thing. That's how I grew up, and that's the Navy Marine Corps team is absolutely the best team in the world anywhere. So it's great to see both flag and general officers here. I want to also the civilians, our civilian Marines, as well as our sailors, and also our industry partners, as was previously mentioned. We can't do what we do without industry. So while in my remarks I might talk about the Marines or the Marines and the civilians, it's always the industry partners are part of the key team to delivering capability to our warfighters. And I'd certainly like to thank the Marine Corps Association for giving this really incredible venue to recognize our Acquisition Excellence Award winners and the whole acquisition community of the Marine Corps. General Already, thank you for hosting this, and starting with the President's Own and all the way through this. What a remarkable evening, and I wish we could award like 100 awards. I see there's only 5 we're going to give, but there's no shortage of heroes in Marine Corps acquisition. And so the best of the best we'll be talking about, but my comments today are for everybody in the acquisition community. Before I go into my prepared remarks, though, I want to take a moment to maybe step aside here. This forum, since everybody's here in the public forum, this is probably the last time that I will be in the same group with General Heckel. And I want to take a moment to recognize my wingman in way too many congressional hearings in front of the House and the Senate, as well as just an incredible Marine Corps officer. I don't know what we'll do without you, although I hear you might have a service life extension program being sent your way. But assuming that does not happen, and this is the last time in public, I wanted to thank you for all you've done for the Marine Corps. Thank you. So, although we are recognized, like I said, although there's 5 individuals we're going to be recognizing today, I'd be remiss if it didn't acknowledge that every person in this room has some role in the acquisition and sustainment of the warfighting capabilities that our Marines need out there. Without each and every one of you, both in uniform and uniform, we would not be where we are today, in the middle of a major modernization, major transformation, actually, of Marine Corps, both in the capability side, force design, but then the equipment that will allow the Marines, new Marine littoral regiments and others to actually operate. As the Service Acquisition Executive for the Department of Navy, it's my honor for me every day to lead Navy and Marine Corps acquisition workforce, about 45,000 people. Very talented, dedicated, unsung heroes, unquestionably unsung heroes, and a group of people that make our Marines and our sailors and give them the best possible equipment. Stepping back on kind of national strategy, all of our national strategies, if you look at the National Defense Strategy and others, have coalesced around near-peer competitors. We haven't had that in 30, 35 years. And our competitors are driving a sense of urgency that General Walsh mentioned earlier. The warfighters need capability like yesterday or today. You know, and obviously we have to provide that, but we have to provide high quality, supportable equipment too. And that balance is what every one of us every day lives through. And again, that's not always recognized by our customers, but is recognized by me and those in the Pentagon that deal with this every day, from Secretary Del Toro on down. Speaking of Secretary Del Toro, he says in his strategic guidance, as our central governing concept, the top priority of the Department of Navy will be to develop concepts, operations, and capabilities that will bolster deterrence as well as expand our warfighting advantage. And of course, we all want that deterrence. We want to have systems and Marines and sailors that operate them so that we never have to use those systems, right? The best that we can do is provide that deterrence, really, and so that we never actually have to go to war. I'm happy to report that Marine Corps Systems Command, PO Land Systems, MCTISA, McWill, are leading the DoD in using our new authorities, like Military Acquisition Authority. Look at the numbers of authorities out there, particularly Marine Corps Syscom. You got like a laundry list of them, and that is great. We're not like the Air Force, where we want to do our B-21 bomber as a military acquisition program. We are actually using them like they're supposed to be, and you may not hear it, but in the halls of the Pentagon, particularly the Secretary of Defense's office, we get a lot of credit for that. Hey, you're using it like it's supposed to be. So I want to thank you for that. The other area is authorities that we have always had, but we kind of stopped using. One of those would be a contracting authority, for those that know about OTAs or other transactional authorities, to increase the speed and the collaboration, get folks working together as soon as possible on solutions. I will say that Marine Corps Syscom is, I've had 3 requests. If they're over a certain dollar value, they have to come to me to approve. They've had 3 of them so far, and all 3 have been from General Walsh. So I keep pushing on those, using OTAs as much as possible, and pushing those, where I can't push the threshold up, bring it to me and we'll sign it real quick. Back of an envelope if we have to, whatever we need to do. Expeditionary warfare, as all you know, I'm not telling you anything now, is the ability to transport units of Marines and their equipment alongside an appropriate naval force, and then conduct operations against an opposing force. That is the essence of what our team does, the Navy Marine Corps team, and that's what sets us apart. No other force in the DoD can do that, and frankly, no other military force in the world can do it. It's not easy, a lot of moving parts. It takes training, takes discipline, takes purpose, and it takes focused research, development, and acquisition, and that's, of course, where we all come in. We often talk about military expertise in the area of man, train, and equip, and again, we are here tonight, to celebrate those that excel in the equip part of that man, train, and equip equation. In line with the Commandant's Force Design, we are fielding equipment at sea, from the land to the sea, operating persistently, and able to operate small, movable, low observable, and create vulnerabilities, and that's really been the challenge. How do we make our systems able, with small groups of Marines, to be low observable, move around, self-sustainable, and meet that force design vision. The current commandant has made that very clear. I expect, assuming Congress actually goes forward, the new commandant, Eric Smith, will continue that process. Look forward to. I have no control over Congress, by the way. So if anybody's wondering, hey, when is all these military promotions going to get approved? Your guess is as good as mine. But the commandant's made it very clear and has challenged all of us. And I like to, well, probably most of you are involved in 1 or 2 things. Sometimes it's nice to kind of talk about a bunch of the things that is going on in the acquisition world, because sometimes you might not even know what the people at the table next to you are working on. So a couple of those that are challenged, and I'm happy to report, are actually getting out and being put in the hands of the Marines right now, and they're actually working with them, experimenting with them, and learning. I'll start with Rogue Fires as an example. Also the Navy Marine Corps Expeditionary Ship Interdiction System, or Nemesis. thank all you Marines. You guys have really cool names, much cooler acronyms than the Navy folks use, so I love that nemesis. And these, of course, support high-priority remote-operated survivable platforms for sea control, basically, and allowing Marines to control sea lanes and support the naval force. And of course, in a true integration method that the Marine Corps uses, it's a Marine Corps Army vehicle and a Navy missile put them together, and you got a really great capability. In the area of self-defense, again, Marine Corps grabbing other existing systems, putting them together. Emmerich, which uses actually a Israeli system as its base, and bring that in. Mattis, again, in the capability, demonstrating their capability, defending our Marines against high-end threats, and we demonstrate that in the last year, a number of demonstrations there. The ground-air task-oriented radar, I think GATOR, appropriately named for those who work on that program, replaces 5 legacy radar systems for the MAGTF. This upgrade is proven to be, frankly, the preferred sensor for the joint force. You guys may not know it, but GATOR has been integrated with Army systems, Navy systems, even Air Force systems, and operated in their command and control environment and done extremely well. I don't know if any GATOR program managers are here, but you may get some orders from the Air Force or the Army based on the success we've had integrating it into other services, command and control systems. Just in the news just recently, the long-range unmanned surface vessel. I'm not sure why, I talked to General Walsh, why Mark or Syscom is doing unmanned surface vessel or surface vessels at all. It sounds like more of a Navy thing, but the Marine Corps is leading the way, actually, so good job on you guys there. And then a priority of force design is to have state-of-the-art, multi-level security wargaming. That's one thing the comment's been very big about. We need to not just do what we've always done. We need to wargame different potentials and different. So that objective is starting to take shape in the construction of the Wargaming and Analysis Center, the McWAC. Again, another very awesome name, Waco Marines. Down at Quantico, I had a chance to go down there about a month ago and see construction. That is going to be an incredible facility when it's up and operational next year. So anybody that hasn't had a chance to go see that, that is just going to be my wargaming MA there is just like in heaven with that, because that's going to be transformational. Of course, those are systems. Those systems have to operate off platforms. And of course, if you read my bio, I'm a shipbuilding guy by trade, so I have to at least mention something about platforms. But I will start with vehicles, right? The 200th amphibious combat vehicle was recently delivered, and we're about to deploy the first set of ACVs with a Marine Expeditionary Unit. A huge accomplishment, great increase in our capability for the Marines, as well as safety for our Marines. Again, while our acquisition team and vehicles is working on that, they are continuing to buy hundreds, thousands maybe, of joint lightweight tactical vehicles. And so keeping that machine going while you're bringing the new ACV in and looking at other vehicles, again, a very great compliment to the Marine Corps acquisition team. But we're also prioritizing how we would use force design and support ship platform. That would be the thing called LAWS. It's not called LAWS anymore. We changed the name to confuse the innocent, right, General? Amphibious Ship Medium, LSM. Is that right? Medium Landing Ship. All right, that was close. All right. We are aligned on the requirements for it, even if not the name for it, between the Navy and the Marine Corps. And as soon as we get that requirements document signed, we're going to start the acquisition process for a whole bunch of light and medium landing ships. There you go, I got it, right? We continue, obviously, the successful large deck amphib programs. The L ships, the traditional L ships, the LHAs continue to get built and delivered. LPD-17s as well. Flight 2, the first Flight 2, LPD-17 is under construction. Actually, the second one is actually under construction now. And I think for those who know the Pentagon games, we'll get through those games and we'll be buying a lot more LPDs in the future a little pause right now while we play some Pentagon games. And then, of course, on top of that, we have full rate production declared on the CH-53K King Stallion, a really incredible aircraft if you've never seen that fly. And a great, again, opportunity to expand the envelope that the Marines can operate in. So these are just a few of the many things going on right now. Some hardware systems, software systems, gaming systems, and then, of course, the platforms and the next generation platforms coming out. Many successes, all because of the people in this room. So I really want to thank you for all you do. And in closing, the Secretary of the Navy, the Commandant, the CNO, they've made their vision clear of where we need to go as the Department of Navy. All of you here know that we are in a very challenging environment here in the defense industry. China is our pacing. Russia is an acute, and when we all need to meet that challenge for our warfighters. We are the department's. It is on us to design, acquire, and sustain the right equipment to provide the capabilities the Marine Corps needs on a timeline to be relevant. Those capabilities we need to put in the hands of our Marines and sailors, so if they are called on to fight, they have what they need, and more importantly, they have what they need to not fair fight, but to have unfair fight. Of course, the unfair fight on our Marine side. We want our Marines to absolutely have the best equipment they can have by a wide margin. So as we recognize our award winners later tonight, I stand up here humbled by the work that you all do, not just the 5 award winners, but everyone here does every day to provide our Marines the best gear possible to prepare for that unfair fight. What you do for Marine acquisition is critical to the success of our military and the success of our nation and the freedoms of the success of all freedom-loving nations around the world. I thank you for having me here tonight. I look forward to congratulate all these winners here on stage in a minute. Thank you very much.